Welcome to the deep dive. We're here to, cut through the noise and focus on what's really changing the game. And today we're diving headfirst into something that feels genuinely groundbreaking in AI assisted development. That's EON Reality's EON Vibe Coder 2.0. Now, this isn't just another software update. The promise here is pretty big. We're talking about moving AI from just being a co-pilot and assistant to potentially a truly autonomous development engine, making no-code creation more accessible, sure, but also, crucially, more reliable. So our mission today: let's unpack how EON Vibe Coder 2.0 is tackling some major pain points, those real frustrations people have had with AI development tools. And it does this by introducing two pretty powerful new AI systems, Flow AI and Guardian AI, ready to explore what this really means for you. Let's get into it.
Okay, so let's set the scene a bit. Before this 2.0 version, imagine you're, say, an educator, passionate about teaching, maybe not so much about coding, right? And you want to build an immersive XR lesson in virtual or augmented reality stuff.
Previously, you might ask an AI, hey, generate an interactive timeline for this history lesson, but then you'd get stuck in this, they called it manual ping pong.
Yeah, that's a good description. Manual ping pong.
You're literally copying code or instructions from one AI interface and pasting it into another, the coding agent, hoping it all connects. It just sounds tedious.
Oh, it absolutely was tedious and frustrating. It wasn't just about the copy pasting, though. That was a symptom. The real issue highlighted a fundamental challenge in how these AI agents work together or didn't work together smoothly. Things like persistent context handling complex multi-step tasks. They often just broke down.
Yeah.
So the user, you, had to basically act as the glue, the external memory, the one orchestrating the AI. And this manual friction, as they call it, it constantly broke your creative flow. You'd have an idea, start building, then get bogged down in the mechanics. And that often led to, project stagnation.
Right. Promising ideas just fizzling out because the process itself was a barrier.
Exactly. A huge hurdle.
So, okay, that manual back and forth, that was the weak spot. How does EON Vibe Coder 2.0, specifically this Flow AI, tackle that? How does it smooth things out?
Right, Flow AI. This is really the core of solving that first problem. Think of Flow AI as a kind of intelligent workflow manager. It sits between you and the coding AI. Its whole job is to manage the transfer of prompts, of code, of context automatically. So that whole manual copy-paste cycle is just gone, eliminated. They estimate it automates over 90% of those manual steps.
90%, that's wow.
Yeah, it's a huge difference. And the real benefit for you, the user, isn't just saving clicks, right? It's about cognitive load. It frees up your mental energy. You're not constantly switching hats from creative visionary to technical data mover. You can stay focused on what you want to build, the creative part, keep that flow state going. Plus, it gives you clear feedback. And state management tells you what's happening, so you don't feel lost in the process.
Okay, that sounds like a massive improvement for just getting things done, for the user experience. Huge leap in efficiency. But efficiency doesn't mean much if the thing breaks down, right? Which brings us to that other dreaded problem, the infinite loop. We've all had software glitches, but an AI getting stuck, endlessly repeating a failed step. That sounds like a special kind of nightmare. What were the actual consequences when that happened? Why was it so hard to fix?
It really was a nightmare scenario for development. These weren't just simple bugs you could easily patch. It often pointed to a deeper issue in the AI's, let's say, reasoning or its execution path. Without some kind of oversight, the AI would just keep trying the same failed approach over and over, burning through resources, burning through your patience, and the impact. Your project could just grind to a complete halt, dead in the water. You'd be left with something unfinished, maybe unusable. It seriously undermined trust in using AI for anything complex.
A major frustration. Okay, so that's where the second piece, Guardian AI, comes in. You described it as solving this reliability issue. It sounds like a smart supervisor almost, but how does Guardian AI actually know when an agent is stuck? What makes it different from just, say, a simple timer that gives up?
Yeah, that's the key difference. It's not just a dumb timeout. Guardian AI uses what they call proactive loop detection. It's actively monitoring the conversation, the back and forth between the different AI systems, so it can intelligently identify when a task seems stuck, when it's seeing repeated failures for the same step. It catches those infinite loops or potential loops before they completely derail everything. Think of it like an immune system for the development process.
Okay, so it detects the loop. Then what? Just stop.
No, and this is the clever part. It has automated recovery strategies.
Yeah.
First, it might try a simpler way to achieve the goal, a plan B, essentially. But if that also doesn't work, it doesn't just give up and crash the whole project. It intelligently flags that problematic component or step. says, okay, this specific bit needs human review later, and then this is crucial. It moves on to the next task in the sequence.
So it doesn't get stuck on one impossible problem.
Exactly. They call it a fail-smart approach. The guarantee is that you almost always end up with a functional application. Maybe one small part needs tweaking later, but the core is built. The project keeps moving. It turns debugging from this frustrating manual stop-start process into something much more proactive and automated, continuous progress.
Right. So Flow AI handles the smooth workflow, gets rid of the manual drag, and Guardian AI provides the safety net, making sure the process doesn't just collapse when it hits a snag. So putting these two together, Flow AI and Guardian AI, what does this really mean for the person trying to build something? How does it change the game?
Well, when you combine them, you're fundamentally transforming the user experience.
Yeah.
It becomes this much more fluid, resilient, and highly automated workflow. It directly tackles both those big pain points: the manual friction and the project-killing loops, efficiency and reliability.
Okay.
And connecting that to the bigger picture, the implications are pretty profound. It genuinely empowers people who aren't traditional coders. Think about educators creating those interactive lessons you mentioned, or corporate trainers building realistic simulations, or maybe innovators in a large company trying to quickly prototype a new XR solution. Suddenly, they can build sophisticated interactive applications with a speed and, importantly, a confidence that just wasn't there before. It's not just lowering the barrier. It's like removing a huge section of the wall. It really helps democratize creation in this space.
Yeah, it sounds like it shifts the bottleneck away from technical hurdles and back towards just having the idea, the vision.
Precisely. Your imagination becomes the main constraint, not your coding ability or your tolerance for frustration.
It really echoes what Dan Lajerskaar, the founder and CEO of Eon Reality, said about this release. He called Eon Vibe Coder 2.0 a fundamental rethinking of the human-AI partnership, highlighting how it eliminates that manual grind and those frustrating dead ends, allowing the AI to autonomously drive your vision forward.
That's a great summary of the ambition here, shifting the human role more towards strategy and vision, less towards manual execution.
Okay, so let's quickly recap the core takeaway here. Eon Vibe Coder 2.0, powered by these two key systems, Flow AI and Guardian AI. It looks like a really significant step towards truly autonomous no-code development. It's tackling those long-standing headaches, the manual back and forth, the projects getting stuck indefinitely, essentially making it much easier and much more reliable for a wider range of people to turn their ideas into interactive XR realities. So here's something to think about as you go about your day. Consider how this kind of autonomous, fail-smart AI development, where the AI doesn't just assist but actively drives the project forward and recovers from errors, how that might accelerate innovation. Not just in XR development, but potentially across many fields. What happens when anyone with a clear vision, regardless of their technical background, has tools that can autonomously build towards that vision, pushing boundaries simply because the creative friction is so much lower. Definitely something to ponder. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive today.